Before we start this special edition of Road Trippin, we want to tell you about our great partners at Oakley. Trust the best in the eyewear business with your summer fit this year. Oakley is not only the best looking eyewear on the market, but also the highest quality. Get over to oakley.com to snag a pair today. That's oakley.com. Welcome into this edition of Road Trippin with RJ and Channing and your host, Allie Clifton. And like I said moments ago, I'm so excited to see you. Guys, yesterday I was taking, I'm dog sitting for the week. And so I was taking the dog out. It's Skeeter's dog. And the guy, Zeffie, for some reason, she let her collar slip off. And I don't know about you, but when you're watching someone else's animal and they run out the door without anything on, you kind of freak out. So I screamed really loud. And all of a sudden she stops at the base of like my door. And it's because there was another big dog coming. And I look up and I had no idea who it was or what dog it was, but I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And this man just smiled so big and he was wearing an Arizona Wildcats men's basketball t-shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
was he just
That's
not the greatest human?
We carry big dogs. Right?
Oh my God.
We carry big dogs.
In what capacity? Just kidding.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I thought it was... I was like, I've never liked a Wildcat fan more in my life than in this current situation and moment.
He wasn't a fan. He was a Wildcat. Trust me. There's an aura.
True.
There's an aura about us. By the way, shout out Zeke Najee and Aaron Gordon. Get their picture up in the hallway.
About time.
Yeah.
Oh, about time, because you guys did it just like that.
It took us 13 years. How about, AG was going crazy.
As he should.
AG
looked like he went to Arizona.
Yeah. They tried to put all the small guys on him, and he was just like dominating. I wouldn't say dominate. He was dominating his opportunities. How about that?
Oh, I thought you were talking about in the parade.
Yeah, I don't know. He started talking about basketball.
Wait, can I ask this? And AG's my guy. AG's my guy. Why does he need a Gordon shirt on like we don't know as fucking Aaron Gordon?
Oh,
he had his own gear on.
Don't.
Wait, if I have a
first
shirt
of all,
on?
we're not. Look, Channing. Don't get too
That's a
far.
question.
Channing, don't get too far removed. Like I was wearing little Kev shirts. People had like I believe in Channing.
That's a different person. It was team issued gear.
In general, in that moment, you could do whatever the fuck you want. JR didn't wear a shirt.
Yes. I'm more curious. I have a childlike curiosity, Richard.
You hating. That's hating. That's hating. I'm
not hating. I'm just curious. Did he forget?
You were doing.
He was like, oh, yeah, I'm Aaron Gordon. Yeah, me.
Yes. Have fun with it. If that's
also, you know what I am still to this day fucking hot about?
What?
We didn't get a damn bus. When we had a championship, they gave us each rental cars. We were in the back of a 2007 Chevy Silverado, hot as shit.
We was cooking.
Hot as shit.
Cooking and hungover.
Everyone else has the bus. People are throwing beers. There's air conditioning, probably waters.
Well,
Cleveland looks organized.
Cleveland wasn't ready for a parade. Let's just say
facts.
Yeah, and they hadn't had one in a while.
Speaking of, one of my favorite moments, and I have to share this because, and I know people are going to be like, "Who the hell is she? What does she do? Live under a rock?" Yeah, part of my life I have. When it comes to pop culture movies, okay, welcome to the pod. But we were in yoga the other day, and Rich, you know exactly where I'm going with this. Channing, when we did an interview in the back of that truck, you chose to say in the microphone on national, because it was nationally televised, that you piss excellence. That you piss excellence. Yesterday, we were in the yoga class and the teacher, Erica, she's amazing. She was giving out some movie references, one being from Talladega Nights. And I look over at Rich and Rich was like, yeah, and this quote and this quote. And I was today years old yesterday when I learned that you did not create I piss excellence. I thought this whole time you were the one that created I piss excellence. And here to find out you were not.
Talladega Nights was towards the end. It was towards the end. Not that Will Ferrell has his prime, but it was towards the end of that stretch of just like bangers that they were on, where it's like there's 20 quotable lines off the top of that head from Talladega Nights. It is just it's an outstanding
Wedding Crashers movie. Step Brothers,
old school,
other guys, old school, Talladega Nights.
Yeah,
oh shit.
Yeah.
We're
missing one more. Oh, Anchorman 1 and 2. 2's a little iffy, but we're putting them in there.
Yeah, they were.
I'll act as if you created it. I'll just continue to keep that in my brain. All right, guys, let's dive in really quick because we don't have a whole lot of time here, but obviously free agency is upon us. It is very, very soon and close, and there's already been some moves made. We haven't really talked about what's been done so far, but I really just want to get where your head is at right now. And as the last few days covering the NBA, obviously, and watching and seeing things, where your head's at with it all. Who are you wanting to see moved? Who are you hoping? Who are you thinking that we may not be, wherever you want to start?
Let's start with Chris Paul and Golden State. This is me. I don't see that working unless he comes off the bench. This is the truth. I know it's crazy to say, but and here's why I say that. It's not because it's Chris Paul or because it is Chris Paul. What I am saying is what I saw that they were missing in that second unit that has always made them amazing is a pass-first guy in that second unit, right? Where when Draymond is not on the court, you are bringing in somebody who is a true point guard. When Draymond went out the game, their offense stood still. Nobody with the ball wasn't moving or popping. But you're also, if he comes off the bench, you could be situational about putting him in situations to be successful. Also defensively in the West, Topher. In the West, there are some big teams. And if he starts, you're starting now the second smallest team. And who's he going to guard? Let's say in Sacramento. He's not guarding De'Aaron Fox. And he's not guarding Malik Monk. So, how does that going to work? If he comes off the bench, you have one of the best insurance policies ever, and you're going to get him in the playoffs.
I bet Steve Kerr would come up with some sort of hybrid lineup, like he has done time
not
and time.
To start though.
Not
to start.
I agree.
Ooh.
What I am saying is that I think Steve would figure out what lineup is most deadly, most potent, and that would be the lineup that he would start on certain games, right? You can't do it. They don't have the age and but if they're playing against a smaller, more up-tempo lineup, we all know that Steve will play his cards and say, okay, we have this lineup. We're going to practice it in these games against these types of teams. We're going to get enough data, and then we're going to know when to pull out that card in the postseason or in key moments. But I do believe it's a hybrid of him starting and probably coming off the bench. Because ultimately, it's like, Chris, you're in year, 19? You're 36 years old. You have a history of injuries. You can be prideful and continue as you can be prideful. Or you can say, hey, I'm going to try something different. I'm still going to have a large part. I'm going to end every single game 99% of the time.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing.
Again,
you're right. You're right. Situationally, unless they're able to add more size somewhere, because if it's Steph, you have Steph, Clay, you have Draymond,
Wiggins.
You got Wiggins. Where does Chris Paul come in there? And I think that's a pretty good understanding, right? There could be times, in my opinion, where it could be, you give Clay some time off, right? You give Clay a game or two off, and now you put him in the starting lineup. Steph moves to the 2. Are there, somewhat of a hybrid, in the way they play? I could 100% see that, just to prolong both of those guys. Again, if you're planning on having a long run, I could see that going down. But to say that he's the full-time starter, I don't know if there's the necessary pieces around. He's not a necessarily plug-and-play guy on that team. Talent, basketball IQ, yes. Position, it doesn't,
No. And I think for me, you're looking
again.
at...
Al, you got to sneeze again, Al. You got to sneeze again.
You got allergies? Just sneeze.
She's trying so hard.
When I was a kid, I used to hold my nose every time I sneezed. My grandmother used to tell me I was going to blow my brains out. Have you ever tried to hold your nose and sneeze? It is the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
Sidebar.
It feels like
continue.
a lot of air explodes my brain, and then
yeah. It's like, what?
I worry about like their offensive power coming off the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, are you now expecting Kuminga and Moses Moody and those guys to make huge leaps? And like, what size do you coming off the bench? Like, you're asking your young guys to do a lot. So I think they're still going to work through some pieces. But yeah, that starting lineup is deadly. I just don't know about their bench. I feel like Chris Paul was a great addition to the team, wherever you put him. I still think they need one or two players.
Trade Kuminga. Find a semi-decent big that can play. Trade Kuminga and find one. If you can get a 3D, if you can get 1 3-and-D guy, right? And if you can find one big that can actually play, again, they won championships. They had JaVale McGee, right? Like,
well, JaVale is under contract in Dallas.
I'm just saying, like, look back at what they had during their success. Right? That's all.
Fair to say,
like
too,
size is going to be important.
Right. I agree with that. Fair to say, too, when you look back at from the Clippers to the Rockets to where the Thunder to Phoenix, was that Chris's? I mean, it's been said, like, every team, Steph even said, every team that he's joined, the team has gotten better. Do you feel like that is the case, or do you simply have to still make moves and changes to believe in that? I mean, I know you guys did just kind of break down positionally, and I think
both
every
those things
team
can be true, Allie.
Okay.
Both those things can be true, right?
Okay.
He can also have helped all those teams, but the Warriors still need help, right? The Warriors still need to acknowledge. Yeah, for sure. I just don't think they have firepower coming off the bench for an older team. You basically traded your young gunner and Andre Iguodala for Chris Paul and cap room. So you got to make some moves this summer. 1 or 2 solid moves, and you play what you could play. I think you're looking at the landscape. What are you doing with Draymond Green right now?
Well, obviously,
what are you doing with
let's
him?
go
That's
there.
huge. Yeah.
33 years old. He declined his player option and obviously enters free agency. What do you think happens with Draymond?
Oh, he goes back. They're not a championship team without him. They understand that. They opt out. Hopefully, I would imagine you opt out, because you still have a 3-year window, right? The Bulls have not been to the finals since Michael Jordan left. There is no guarantee you're going to luck and get a Steph Curry, right? A random guy with bad ankles that teams passed on multiple times. There's not very many times you're going to get a guy like Nikola Jokic in the second round, right? That all of a sudden you can build. If you have a chance to go with these guys, you build as long as you can. It's going to cost you. They're going to have to restructure, but without Draymond Green, they are not, right? They are not, and he wants to come back there. So the goal is like, hey, give me a long-term deal, tie it with Steph, because they can't replace him. There is no replacing what he does and how their system works. No. He is the defensive hub, and he is the offensive creator hub that allows those guys to run around and play the way they play. He is irreplaceable to the system. He might not be driving the car, but he's definitely the engine.
For sure.
So they're giving him his money, whatever that number is, and he's going to get it. I don't think they're going to overpay him because I think he understands business also.
Yeah, I would say for me, I'm looking at what he could, is he worth $100 million to the Warriors? Absolutely. To the Warriors. Now, can they win championships with him making $100 million? Now, as unfair as that is, he deserves to get paid what he's worth. But knowing him getting paid that money and them losing equals that money going somewhere else and they blow up the team. So between 90 and 100 million, that 10 million a year may get you a vet, right? I'm just going to use a guy like Alec Burks, Josh Green, like DeAndre Jordan, like just veterans, like that could play playoff basketball in their bodies. They're going to practice consistent. They're going to keep the locker room fresh. Ups and downs, they're going to be chill. You need those players on your roster. So you taking 100, and we'll get to Dame. Dame taking the 60, locked him in to Portland. So now when things aren't right, there's no wiggle room for them to go add 2, 3, 4 players because realistically,
Dame is eating up most of the cap. Dame is eating up most of the cap for the ability to bring in free
unfortunately,
agents.
is he worth it?
And that's what the NBA was trying to avoid.
100%. Yeah.
And before we dive into that Dame conversation, that is Road Trippin's view of 2023 free agency, and it's brought to you by Oakley. Get over to oakley.com, snag your pair today. That is oakley.com.
Send me more Oakleys, Oakley. We got volleyball this summer. I'm on the beach in Hermosa. Send me more Oakleys, Oakley. I love you guys.
Send me Oakleys. I go fishing.
Calling all road trippers. We all love a good road trip on this podcast, right? Well, summer is here and big plans are being made. Make sure you're driving to your destination on a great set of tires from our friends at Discount Tire. Discount Tire is your one-stop shop for not only tires and tire maintenance, but also custom wheels and accessories like a new pair of windshield wiper blades. America, it's trusted Discount Tire for over 60 years, and with over 1,100 locations across 38 states, there's sure to be one near you. Their industry-leading selection offers more than 70 brands of tires and more than 90 wheel brands. And right now, you can visit their website, discounttire.com, to locate a store, schedule an appointment, search for top brands, and even select and pay for your own tires. Head to discounttire.com today to register for email discounts and access the latest in tire safety tips. You'll also find helpful information about the maintenance schedule of your specific make and model of vehicle. If you want to cut the line, how about this? We've got you covered, road trippers. Wait times, they're 30% shorter when you buy and book online at discounttire.com. So what are you waiting for? Head to your local Discount Tire or discounttire.com today, and let's get you taken care of. The Road Trippin crew, Rich, Channing, and myself, are really excited to announce our newest sponsor, Oakley. We've all worn Oakleys for years and love their different styles and commitment to quality. Oakleys are suited for everyday eyewear with frames and lenses allowing for an extension of self, an expression of your personality. With Oakley, there's more than meets the eye. Here on Road Trippin, we live by the mantra, look good, feel good, play good. And that's why Oakley is the best partner for our show. It's the start of summer, which means you need to upgrade your sunglasses now. Check out oakley.com to get yourself a pair today. This summer, Oakley is offering Prism Lens technology. Now, what's that? Well, it's a cutting-edge proprietary technology from Oakley, and it's now available for everyday settings as well. Want to know more? Well, all you have to do is head over to oakley.com. When you wear Oakleys, there really is more than meets the eye. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. We've worn a ton of different sunglass brands, and we can assure you Oakley is not only the best looking eyewear on the market, but also it's the highest quality. So calling all road trippers, head on over to oakley.com for more information and grab yourself a pair today. Hey road trippers, Channing and I love our dogs and we want them to have the best food and nutrition available. That's why we feed our pups food from the farmer's dog. Whether you have a young puppy or a senior who's seen multiple decades, any dog person like me knows the most valuable thing in the world is spending time with your pet. The Farmer's Dog helps to keep them healthy, which can give you more quality years with them. The Farmer's Dog makes and delivers fresh, healthy dog food. It's recommended by vets, nutritionally balanced, and made from human-grade ingredients in safe, clean kitchens. It's the best option for dogs at all stages of life because it's not kibble, it's not canned goo, it's real food. The Farmer's Dog isn't just higher quality food. They also send the food pre-portioned specifically for your dog based on their unique nutritional needs. It doesn't matter if your dog is young or old. It's always the right time to begin investing in their health, helping you both live more healthy, happy, and full years together. So get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/roadtrippin. Plus, you'll get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/roadtrippin to get 50% off your first box of food. That's thefarmersdog.com/roadtrippin. Okay, yeah, Dame. Give us a little teaser before we end this episode, and we're going to dive in at full strength with Dame. Give me a hot take about Dame.
Hot take? I think all this media hoopla is coming from the Blazers and not from him.
Dame doesn't want to leave Portland. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave. And it's the shittiest place to be where you don't want to leave.
Oh.
But but I'm saying where you don't know, but I'm saying where you don't want to leave a situation like that, right? But it's like he can't grow. Like there was that quote. It's trees don't hang out with grass even though they started in the same place, right? It's just like, just because you all started here, you can outgrow your situation. That's what it's saying, Channing. You can outgrow your situation. And
I
it's
saw that
sad
on
that his
Instagram too.
ability,
Did you
it's
repost
like,
that
I
last
saw
week?
something, I forgot where I saw it, but it was the average draft pick since Dame has been there has been 14. That's not good enough to get you a player that's elite. The average draft pick, because his teams have been so good since he was rookie of the year, since he's been all NBA and doing all these things. He's never played with an all-star. His teams have been, they're never drafting in the top 10. They've never been bad enough that he's too good to ever tank. So they've been stuck in this mediocrity, and he kept taking the bag. And now, because of the new rules, the bag is so big, it limits their ability to bring in free agents. It's a shitty situation. But he
And it's
doesn't
not
want to
just
leave.
Portland, it's him also.
No, everybody.
It's
I'm just
on
saying
your
that,
main leader. If you have that many years and you can't get one big free agent to come to Portland, that's not just Portland. That's on you too. Right? I mean, look, we're not going to compare him to LeBron.
You can
We're
say
not going to compare him to other
Giannis,
people.
Think about Giannis and what Milwaukee did, right? And like they got Drew Holiday. That they gave up a lot to get Drew Holiday. They had Chris
Brooke
Middleton
Lopez
already, who was already there. He didn't start there,
Bobby
but he had them.
Portis.
They developed him. So, and it's like, to go get those pieces to build around Giannis, right? Like, you got to give them credit. It's like they went and got a key piece. When has Portland traded and really gotten a key piece to add to what those guys were doing? And then they're drafting 13, 14, 15. So they're not getting like we're going to get a top 5 pick. So I'm just saying it's a shitty situation for all parties involved.
Totally. And at some point, somebody has to put their pride aside. And you know who's getting fucked out of this whole thing? Pause. No, he's not really, but it's situationally. Is Scoot, because he's the number 3 pick in NBA draft. Like, no one's talking about him.
Yeah, but I think Scoot could be great.
Richard,
but Scoot could also be like a lot of other top 5 draft picks, Channing, that you and I have seen over the last 20 years. We like
100%.
Ball.
Give him the chance to
let's
do
talk
that.
about Kuminga. Let's talk about Wiseman.
Let's
talk about Marvin Bagley. Let's talk about all of these guys that are top 5
They've
picks.
all got a chance. They've all had a chance to be that. We're not even talking about the guy who's actually happy to come to Portland, who's done it the right way. He's a good kid. He's explosive. He's exciting. And all we talk about is, where's Dame going?
Didn't you go in on this on NBA Today about the CBA and how this all kind of affects the young players? And
well, I went in on it because I just don't think that this was a great deal. The CBA was not a very, very good deal that the players signed. That's just my opinion, right? The Players Association can be like, well, come in this room and help us negotiate. So I'm not going to kill anybody. I'm just going to say, some of these things, you can see how it can limit player movement. They basically have a hard cap. The owners should be allowed to spend what they want to spend, right? There's no other, they're in any other universe. You can make as much as you're worth, right? And they're asking players that are let's say a player like Giannis. Giannis is worth $1 billion to the Milwaukee economy, and they're asking Giannis to take less money. Hey, we know we can pay you 50, but if we pay you 45, we can put better players around. So I'm worth $1 billion to this economy, but you guys are putting rules in place that are saying that, because we saw it with LeBron when LeBron left Cleveland, billions of dollars left that economy, right? When he left the first time, right? That's where a lot of the anger, it was just there were restaurants that were empty. There were bars that were empty. The team was bad again. It was tough. So I think the CBA put in a lot of things and put in place that are limiting player movement, that are going to limit how much players can make, or you got to take less money in order to play with better players. Now if an owner wants to pay for a good lineup, let him pay for a good lineup. But don't tell a guy like Giannis or Luka or Bron that are bringing so much to the economy, we need you to take less money than we are capped to give you.
But do you care about parity? in the NBA? Do you not care about that? Think about a
We
team like
had
Oklahoma
parity.
City.
We've had parity. Think about it. We've had 5 different NBA champions. You want more parity? What more parity is that? And this is
Right.
before
So
these rules. No. This is not because of the rules. This is what has gone on. It's been Golden State. It's been the Lakers. It's been Denver, it's been Toronto and Milwaukee. So so everyone wants to talk about parity and saying, oh, this is going to lead to parity. Meanwhile, we're coming off a stretch where we've had 5 different champions, big markets and small markets. So if these rules can't say that it's going to lead to parity when we're coming off a 5-year stretch of parity. So I understand, yeah, just before they start throwing that, oh, this is going to create more parity. It's like it looks like we're having that once that super team got broken up.
I'm under the consideration of this is like, both ways. I want the team to be good. I want a lot of teams to be good, but I also want the players to get paid what they deserve, right? And it is up to the player, in my opinion. Anything outside of that arena, that's his business, personal business, to tap into those. If LeBron did an amazing job of tapping
the
into
players going to big markets, then if you want them to tap in, don't get mad if players go to big markets. If you want them to tap in,
I'm not mad at that. The NBA, this is crazy. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The NBA, no matter what anybody thinks, is better when the Lakers, Boston, Golden State, Chicago, New York play basketball games or in the playoffs. When the Knicks are in the playoffs and the Lakers are in the playoffs, the excitement is palpable. No offense to all these other teams. It just doesn't feel the same. It does not feel the same, and I've been in these different arenas. It does not feel the same when you go to Miami. No offense to Miami, and they've won championships. Then when you go to Boston, when you go to Denver, or you go to Phoenix, or which is a underrated big city, Phoenix or LA, it's different. It is different for the viewers because of what the NBA has done. And these younger markets, these smaller markets are trying to reestablish how they can be successful like those other teams.
Okay, really quickly. Do you think that this penalizes Dame for taking the maximum of $1 that he's allowed? He is now, like you said, he is now stuck. So my thing is this. How are we going to penalize a guy that has accomplished all of these things for this franchise? And now because he takes the maximum dollar that he is allowed, he is basically stuck. His trade value goes down. You're not going to get to aggregate players in contracts. So we can't have Dame's got 60. Okay, we're going to trade you Pascal. We're going to trade you this person that's making 30, this person that's making 10, and this person that's making 8. We're going to pool those together, and we're going to trade you for Dame. You can't do that anymore. They have basically said, if we're going to give you this money, you're stuck here. Regardless if we're fucking incompetent, regardless if we don't hire a coach well, regardless if we don't draft well, regardless if we can't attract free agents. That's what I'm talking about, that when we really start to break this down, like, this is not a great deal for the players. They can tell you parity, but those are talking points when you're coming off of a 5-year stretch of different teams winning championship. We haven't had a back-to-back champion since Golden State.
Yeah. I really don't think that the people who should be under the most scrutiny are GMs and owners, to me, right? I think players also have to you can't trust your GM if he's never made correct decisions, or if his decisions are not, okay, off the rip, name me 4 GMs or organizations in the last 5 years that you go, okay, I'm rolling with them. And don't say Miami, don't say Boston, don't say San Antonio.
How can you take away from the top 3 well-run organizations? He's just making it difficult. He's just making it difficult.
I was about to say,
I know what you're saying. You're saying, show me a middle ground.
Like, I'd also throw Golden State.
There has to be.
I would say the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, great. Okay. Underrated.
I would say.
Golden State.
Golden State. I would agree.
What? They had the number 2 pick and it didn't work.
I would
Did that
even
big
say
old
I
boy,
would
it
even
didn't
say
wanna work.
Milwaukee. I would even say Milwaukee.
I'll give you that. Gold.
Right?
Okay, so yep. Milwaukee. Who else?
Golden State is 3. How do you
No,
win
Golden
as much
State, I
like,
wouldn't give that to
No,
them.
it's
Like,
not.
yes, but this is the
No,
thing.
it's not.
You can't miss on the 2 and the 7. You can't miss on both of them. Even if it's not a
Yeah.
good draft. They would have been better off. Allie, they
I don't
missed on the 2 and
that
7
makes me
pick
really
in the
nervous
same.
when you talk to me like that. My dad used to
No,
talk
but
to
I'm
me
just
like
saying,
that
no, but I'm
when I
saying,
was a
like,
kid.
you can give them credit. Like they missed on the 2 and 7 pick, right? They also drafted Nico Mannion, I remember, because he's a kid out of Arizona, right? He didn't work out.
No.
They let Gary Payton go because they couldn't afford the tax, right? Like they've done
Then they had to get him
they've
back.
done some great things, but I would put them in the bottom third of great, right? Because missing out on those 2, that's a big black mark on your
Wasn't the
resume.
core though that has won them championships, that has been a part of this dynasty talk? Wasn't that through the draft?
No, no through
That
the
was
draft, but that
16 years ago.
yeah,
We're
but
talking
that
about the
was also
last
different.
5, Allie.
Oh,
The
I'm
last
sorry.
five.
I missed that part. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah. I'm saying there was
Sorry.
different, like Bob Myers did not draft
today.
Steph, Clay. He might have
Fair.
he might have
Okay.
drafted Clay.
I'm thinking of the
He
current
might
team.
have drafted Clay and Draymond.
Okay.
So, okay. New Orleans. Don't miss. Think about Trey. Zion is Zion, but he is the correct pick. Think about Brandon Ingram's had some of his best careers, adding C.J. McCollum. Valanciunas has had great years. Now, their injuries are not representative of what they are doing.
That's fair. You can get unlucky.
But their
You can draft the
development
right player.
every single year. But think about how many duds of organizations have picked players that have just not panned out at all. Right?
For multiple years.
I think the two worst ones are Washington and Chicago. Because you're like,
Okay.
what are y'all doing?
This is a great conversation. We are going to wrap. Obviously,
No.
we're going to continue to dive in. I do want to know where you guys think Dame ultimately will end up, and then there's plenty more with free agency right here around the corner. So that's another edition, though, of Road Trippin'. This episode of Road Trippin' has been brought to you by our friends at Discount Tire. Let's get you taken care of. Discount Tire is the largest independent tire retailer in the nation. With the biggest selection of tires and wheels, we know you'll find something you love for your vehicle. Log on to discounttire.com and use Treadwell, the world's only tool that gives you transparency on how tires really perform and personalized recommendations based on where and how you drive. Learn about the tire life and the tire costs to help you choose the right tires with Treadwell by Discount Tire. Here's a quick tip from the Discount Tire experts, and you can prevent tire wear and boost gas mileage by keeping the right air pressure in your tires. Tire air pressure supports the weight of your vehicle. It's important to check always for safety. Visit discounttire.com to learn more about tire safety, or if it's been over a month since you last checked your tire pressure, stop by one of their local stores for a free tire safety and pressure check. And remember, road trippers, you get 30% shorter average wait times when you buy and book online at discounttire.com.